I have been making copycat Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes for the last 5 years, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it.
Yup.
This is everything you are going to need other than water. Of course, you will need either a hand mixer or a stand mixer because the first thing that you are going to do is beat these eggs for 6 to 7 minutes. And if you ever get a piece of eggshell in what you're making, just use another eggshell to get it out because it's like a magnet. It should look like this when you're done. Make sure you use a big enough bowl so you don't have to switch like I did. Then you're just going to add the rest of the ingredients, which consists of 1 box of white cake mix. You may think it's cheating using white cake mix. I've been doing this recipe for 5 years. I've done it both completely by scratch and with the cake mix. I much prefer this recipe. This is from Aldi. 1/2 cup of water, 1/4 cup vegetable oil, and a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, and then you're going to beat again on low for 1 minute. Making sure to scrape down the sides. And this is what it should look like. 9 by 13 pan that you are going to line with parchment. If you want your parchment to stick well to the pan, spray it with non-stick spray first, and it will act like glue. Also, another trick is to crumple it up, literally. And I know it doesn't look like it, but it just lays down much better now and it's not gonna go flying and try to roll up on you. Then you have to spray your parchment paper with non-stick spray. Ooh, I'm almost out. You are going to use a measuring cup. This is important, and do 2 1/4 cup on the pan. I really insist on measuring it to ensure that it comes out nice and even, and to ensure that you have enough batter to do 2 of these, because we're doing 2 pans. Spread it around. It's probably going to seem like not enough batter, but remember, we want really thin cakes. And we want this as even as possible, so bang it out a few times. In the oven at 375 for 10 to 12 minutes. I like to bake it 1 pan at a time to ensure even baking. We're going to check it after 10 minutes. Looking excellent. Always give it a little pat. See if it feels nice and spongy. You can do the toothpick test if that makes you feel better, but perfect. And then you just slide it right off and your pan is free. And now we repeat the process. Another 10 minutes and we will go grab the most important item of all. Behave. Having a second kitchen really comes in handy this time of year because this is my Christmas overflow kitchen. And this right here is old reliable. I've been using this cutter for the whole 5 years I've been making these. Come on, Susanna. And since these are so thin, they do cool fast. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting them out. This part is annoying because the cutter always sits flush with the cake. So it's kind of a hassle, but what can you do? And make sure you're going like this, so that way you can get as many as you can. Keep going back and forth, so that way they fit together perfectly. And with the leftover scraps, I usually make cake balls, and they're really freaking good, not to toot my own horn. Hard to tell, but they are all cut out, and my second batch came out actually thicker than usual, so that's all right. So cutie. And even though I try so hard to make them all bake at the same thickness, they do always come out different. So I will end up trying to pair them up together based on thickness. So that way they're kind of like uniform. Had a lot of scraps this year. So the cake balls are going to be popping. But there they are. Now we have to make the frosting. 3/4 cup butter, which is 12 tablespoons softened. My butter, not soft. So I'm just going to throw it in the oven for a few. 7 ounces of marshmallow fluff. Aldi, for instance, sells smaller things of marshmallow fluff, and the whole container is 7 ounces. So you could just use the whole container, but I prefer the tried and true marshmallow fluff brand. So we'll just use a little bit less than half of this. Vanilla, which we measure with our heart. Added our butter, and now we're just going to mix it together. Once again, hand mixer or stand mixer. And then adding 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And it should look like this. If you don't have a piping bag, that's totally fine. More often than not, I use Ziploc bags because I always forget to buy piping bags. I like to put it into a jar like this so that way it's easy to just scrape the frosting right in. So cute. This part is a little tedious, but you really need to make sure when you're piping that you get out to like all of the branches so that way when you sandwich them, everything's like nice and even. Do you know what I mean? Listen, it doesn't have to look pretty, okay? They are looking so cute. And then the most important part of all is you have to have patience and you have to freeze these for minimum 1 hour, preferably 2, so that way they are nice and hard and easy to dip in the white chocolate. My downstairs freezer is teeny tiny, so we're gonna bring them up here and pop them right in. And in the meantime, I'm going to get ready for the day and stop at the dry cleaners. And there you have it.